We have before us the opportunity to forge a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
They're known as one of the most influential families in American politics. A true political dynasty built on money, power, and secrets. But the Bush family is a lot weirder than you think. Behind glowing TV interviews and a carefully crafted public image lies a seriously dark and shady family with long-standing connections to the deep state and shadowy secret societies such as Skull and Bones and Bohemian Grove.
You find me once again!
Could Barbara Bush really be the daughter of Aleister Crowley? What's with the fetus kept preserved in a jar?
You showed him the fetus in the jar.
Well, really, the
touched on it before.
And why were children trafficked into H.W. Bush's White House?
For using the services of a callboy ring. Callboy ring. We're given a late-night tour of the White House last year.
What is the real truth behind the Bush's all-American facade? Join me as we explore the dark side of the Bush family the mainstream media won't show you. For 3 generations, the Bush family has pledged a secret oath to a mysterious order known as the Skull and Bones. It's one of the most exclusive and notorious secret societies in the world, recruiting the elite of the elite from among the junior ranks of Yale University. Skull and Bones is a satanic death cult for bloodline families, formerly known as the Brotherhood of Death, and it certainly lives up to its namesake. Every year when new members are initiated, screams and chanting are heard echoing from the society's secured compound called the Tomb.
He was part of a team that successfully recorded part of the initiation ceremony that takes place in the Tomb's courtyard. And what did you hear? What was it you managed to get this unique
it was
access to it?
disgusting. It was gross. I mean, they were pretending to murder people. And
What was the tone of it, though? Was it jokey or was it
vicious.
quite...
No, it wasn't jokey at all. It was sick. It's about the only way I can describe it. It was sick.
What you're hearing is the first recording ever made of the Skull and Bones initiation ceremony. It has never been broadcast before. 15 new members of the club are being introduced into the macabre rituals of Skull and Bones by the senior students who are about to graduate. The club has what some might see as a strange fascination with death, skulls and bones. There's the chants too, difficult to hear first of all, but including the devil equals death and death equals death.
During the initiation, ritual members are forced to kiss the skull of Geronimo. Then drink what they claim to be fake blood from a skull.
The daring student was surprised by what he saw inside the fountain.
There was actually some sort of red residue in the fountain, which I imagined to be blood. But I am feeling they do some strange rituals with the fountain. These 2 skeletons look like they're hushing people in some way.
During their initiation, candidates must recount all their sexual exploits. Finally, they are expected to perform various oaths, kiss some feet, and drink blood. They then have to lie naked in a coffin, and, after masturbating in full view of the others, swear to never reveal their membership of the order.
The Skull and Bones initiation process featured prominently in the 2006 movie The Good Shepherd, starring Matt Damon.
Skull and Bones. Accept or reject?
Accept.
But few Americans realize that both father and son have already taken an oath to a mysterious and powerful secret society known as Skull and Bones.
George H.W.'s father, Prescott, was the first generation of Bushes to be tapped to join. Prescott made millions funding Hitler during World War II, directly profiting from concentration camp slave labor.
I became the first journalist in U.S. history to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt or any refutation of the facts that Prescott Bush, the grandfather of George W. Bush, and George Herbert Walker, his maternal great-grandfather for whom his daddy is named, were Nazi traitors to the country who should have been tried for treason.
It was he who ransacked the grave of Native American legend Apache Chief Geronimo and took his skull back to Skull and Bones headquarters, where it has been used for their rituals ever since. Among the other items found at the tomb are genuine Nazi relics and occult regalia.
Alexandra Robbins, a Yale graduate and author of a book on the subject, stated that the society owns a valuable collection of Nazi objects and memorabilia, and eats its dinners off Hitler's private silver service. A large part of their liturgy is written in German.
But if you thought that was weird, the Bush family is about to get a lot more bizarre. For years, rumors have swirled among alternative researchers and conspiracy circles that Barbara Bush, George W.'s mother, could be the daughter of Aleister Crowley, the notorious 20th century occultist admired by the satanic elite. The notion is roundly ridiculed by mainstream sources. However, the historical circumstances are nonetheless correct for this to have occurred, so much so that a British documentary about Crowley entitled In Search of the Great Beast devoted a segment to the rumor and explains how Barbara Bush's mother met Aleister Crowley. Not long afterwards, she was pregnant with Barbara, who bears a striking resemblance to Crowley.
By 1924, Crowley was living in poverty in France. An old friend and famous literary figure and occultist, Frank Harris, kindly took him under his roof. Frank Harris lived with a woman by the name of Nellie O'Hara. If what has been written in later years can be believed, Nellie had a friend in America, Pauline Pierce, who was married to Marvin Pierce, head of the McCall Corporation. In early 1924, Pauline traveled to France to stay with her friend. Thus it was that four individuals came together: Frank Harris, Nellie O'Hara, Pauline Pierce, and Aleister Crowley. According to Crowley's diaries, during this period in Paris, Crowley underwent the supreme ordeal, linked with his realization of the grade of Ipsissimus. According to a description of the rite, on the appointed day, the candidate is attended by one or more chosen and experienced attendants whose duty is A, to exhaust him sexually by every known means, B, to rouse him sexually by every known means. Every device and artifice of the courtesan is to be employed, and every stimulant known to the physician. If Crowley did go through this ordeal in 1924, then it is highly likely, based on his previous experiences, that his closest associates of that time, including Nellie and Pauline, performed as his magical assistants. Pauline Pierce returned to America in early October of 1924. 8 months later, on June the 8th, 1925, she gave birth to a girl named Barbara. Barbara Pierce married George H.W. Bush, who eventually became the 41st President of the United States, and they had a son, George W. Bush, the 43rd President of the United States. Could the wickedest man in the world, Aleister Crowley, be George W. Bush's grandfather?
I will be eager to see what you guys think about this in the comments section. For most women, a miscarriage is a devastating and deeply personal experience. But Barbara Bush crossed the line into the macabre when she kept her miscarried fetus preserved in a jar and casually showed it off to her sons.
He says you gave him special permission to write about it. He wrote that when you once had a miscarriage, you showed him the fetus in the jar.
Now, really,
we
the truth
touched on
is,
it before, but we didn't
Paola
elaborate.
put it in a jar.
What?
Paola, it's not in the library. No,
I know.
George, Paola put it in a jar.
And my mom's what I learned was she's a straightforward person. She says to her teenage kid, here's a fetus. Here's a fetus.
Who else but Aleister Crowley's daughter would keep their own fetus displayed in a jar? Recently, several women have accused the father H.W. Bush of sexual assault, some of whom were underage at the time, hinting at a much darker Bush secret alternative researchers and whistleblowers have been speaking about for quite some time. It was June 29th, 1989. The Washington Post front page headline revealed that quote-unquote call boys had been taken on midnight tours of Bush Sr.'s White House.
And if Washington doesn't have enough to talk about these days, the Washington Times reported today that unidentified White House aides in the Carter, Reagan, and Bush administrations now are being investigated for using the services of a call boy ring. The paper reports that 2 of the male prostitutes were given a late-night tour of the White House last year.
One of those boys was Paul Bonacci, an underage sex trafficking victim, who was later awarded $1 million in federal court against his trafficker. He claims to have witnessed George H.W. Bush at elite D.C. parties, where he and other children were passed around.
But I've seen some parties down in Washington. I've seen President Bush there, which I'd rather not talk about him.
What year was that? Was he president or vice president?
Vice president. That's when he was still vice president. I've never met him as president because he became president in '88, and I never went around him after that.
You saw him at how many of these parties?
I've seen him at about 3 or 4 parties because the vice president was there, so they had to have all the Secret Service. I didn't do nothing with him. He was with a black kid and he was with a white kid.
2 separate parties, once with a white kid and once with a black kid? Yeah. Right? So you saw him twice?
Yeah.
And the kid had to perform oral sex on him? And what happened after they finished?
He just got up and kind of left. And
I've been writing in my books now since 1998 that Father George Bush is a notorious pedophile, child torturer, child killer, and serial killer of adults as well. Said it on American radio. Still waiting for a response. And this is one example. A lady who became a friend of mine, Kathy O'Brien, who was in the American government mind control project since she was a kid, and met her many times. She still corresponds with me now and again, and I've met a daughter that she was talking about. Lovely, lovely girl, totally shattered by these people. And that's one example of millions and millions that are going on around the world. And this is what she said in a book, Transformation of America. Kelly's bleeding rectum was but one of many physical indicators of George Bush's pedophile perversions. I have overheard him speak blatantly of his sexual abuse of her on many occasions. He used this and threats to her life to pull my strings and control me. The psychological ramifications of being raped by a pedophile president are mind-shattering enough. But reportedly, Bush further reinforced the traumas to Kelly's mind with sophisticated NASA electronic and drug mind control devices. Bush also instilled the "who you're gonna call and I'll be watching you" binds on Kelly, further reinforcing her state of helplessness. The systematic tortures and trauma that I endured as a child now seem trite by comparison. They're not. I know what she went through. To the brutal physical and psychological devastation that George Bush inflicted on my daughter. And that's just one of these people involving one of the victims of this.
The rabbit hole here goes deep. But it seems Bush Sr. and the CIA were using these children as part of a honeypot operation to blackmail certain politicians. November 22nd, 1963. A day no American alive will ever forget. The news blasted across every radio bulletin in the nation, and soon the world.
This is Edwin Newman in the NBC newsroom in New York. This information from Dallas. 2 priests who were with President Kennedy say he is dead of bullet wounds. This is the latest information we have from Dallas.
President John F. Kennedy had been shot dead in Dallas, Texas. The nation was stunned. No one could forget where they were that day. No one except for George Bush Sr., that is, who conveniently claims he doesn't remember where he was that fateful day. Convenient because a picture taken at the scene shows a man bearing a likeness to him outside of the schoolbook depository. Bush claims he wasn't in the CIA at the time of the Kennedy assassination, but a declassified FBI memo from 1963 names a, quote, George Bush of the CIA. When asked about the memo, he replied, "It must have been some other George Bush, please." Kennedy had vowed to destroy the CIA, break it into 1,000 pieces, and scatter it to the wind. Later at LBJ's memorial, Bush couldn't restrain a laugh as he referred to the deranged gunman who supposedly shot Kennedy.
America. After a deluded gunman assassinated President Kennedy,
Today, far from sitting on the sidelines, the Bushes are still a powerful Illuminati bloodline family, known to attend Bohemian Grove rituals and wield a great deal of power within the deep state. So let me know what you guys think about this real-life Addams family. Do you think Barbara Bush is really the daughter of Aleister Crowley? What about the fetus they keep in a jar? Be sure to like and subscribe, and I want to thank my patrons over at patreon.com for supporting this channel and helping to keep original truth content like this coming. Thank you.